Hello everyone. What I'd like to do now is demonstrate how to clean your data in Excel. So this is for the third week assignment. This is part 3.6. So what I did was last week I downloaded data from GSS Data Explorer, and I downloaded the labor force status data, which is categorical, the different types of working conditions people are in, working full-time, retired, part-time, keeping house, etc. Then I also downloaded the number of hours worked last week and then the number of hours usually work in a week. Now, what we want to do is this data, if we're really interested in analyzing this data here, these data points from these respondents are not usable because they contain no data. So what we want to be able to do is delete those. So you can go through and delete them one at a time, but there are many, many data points in this data set. Even if you download for 1 year, there's thousands. So probably the best way to do this is to highlight the column that you want to sort your data, and then click on data and click on sort, and then expand the selection and then sort, and then we're going to sort on the number of hours worked last week, and then we can go OK. And so now what you see is we have data in these cells, and the ones where there's no data are going to be down at the bottom. So we got to scroll down as far as we can until we come to the first place where we have no data. So this might take you a minute or two. So here's the first row where we don't have data. And so I can highlight that, and then what I can do is go down and highlight all the rows that don't have data. There's quite a few. So this takes me to the bottom here. And then I can go up here and go Edit and Delete. So what that does is it removes all the data that's unusable. Okay, so now you just have respondents that have data in the number of hours worked last week column. Now the second thing that the assignment asks you to do is take this categorical data, whatever categorical data you've downloaded, and to code that data. So what we're going to do is, if you look at this data in GSS Data Explorer, these are the categories: working full-time, part-time, going to school, keeping house, or what. There's even a few other categories such as other and unemployed that they put in when they coded the data. So anyway, what I've done is I've gone through here and I've looked at some of the categorical data. I basically use the GSS Data Explorer categories that I just showed you, and I've created kind of a coding system. So I'm going to code working full-time as a 1, working part-time as a 2, keeping house as 3, etc. So you can see how I'm coding these. There's no magic about 1, 2, 3, and 4 here. I could code any of these, give them any number, but you need to keep track of the number that you assign each of your categories. So in order to do this in Excel, we'll want to make sure that this column is highlighted, which it is, and then we'll go up to Edit, Find, and Replace. And this was left over from the last time. So I'm going to type in working sure it's spelled right, and I'm going to replace that with a 1. And I'm going to replace all. So that's made 1,321 replacements. So any time there was a working full-time, now it's represented by a 1. So then I'm going to take working full-time out and put working part-time. And then I'm going to replace working part-time with a 2. And I'm going to replace all. So there's something that I didn't do right. Oh, I see. I misspelled it. So working part-time, 2 T's, replace all. So it made 345 replacements. Okay. So I'll do one more. Keeping house. I'm going to replace that with a 3. Replace all. So that made 284 replacements. So 284 of the respondents are keeping house. So I think you see how it works, and you can see how these categorical codes have changed. So if you have any questions, please let me know.